The iPhone 16 I tested doesn't have the word Pro in its name, but it's easy to forget that when I'm using its new dedicated camera shutter to capture a flower in painstaking detail, or editing the audio mix of a live musical performance with a single tap, or playing games that were once reserved for powerful computers and consoles. Apple's basic iPhone has never been this premium, making it an easy choice for most eager upgraders seeking out the best smartphone, and a tempting option even for longtime Pro users such as myself. That said, the iPhone 16 isn't going to be an obvious upgrade for everyone, especially if you're serious about photography, like really smooth displays, or just aren't terribly hurting for a new phone right now. And now that the more affordable $599 iPhone 16e is an option, you might be wondering if Apple's flagship is worth its premium price. Fortunately, after a week of intensive testing at launch and many months spent revisiting the iPhone 16 since, I'm here to help answer that question for you.
This might be a hot take, but I think the basic iPhones, with their lighter weight and more joyful colors, have long been superior to the Pros on the design front. That remains the case with the iPhone 16. Apple's latest entry-level iPhone looks and feels a lot like last year's model, with a color-infused glass back that's mercifully smudge-resistant and just a joy to hold. The rear-facing dual cameras are now arranged vertically rather than diagonally, which allows the phone to shoot spatial video, but also makes for a cleaner, more uniform look. While the Pro series continues to be offered in unexciting shades of silver, black, and gold, the iPhone 16 comes in a gorgeous array of hues highlighted by pink, teal, and a deep blue that Apple calls ultramarine. I'd probably buy ultramarine for myself, though I do really dig my teal review unit, and not just because it happens to match my beloved New York Liberty's team colors. The iPhone 16 doesn't overhaul much aesthetically, but it did gain an important new button on each side. On the left, you'll find the Action button, which was previously exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro series, and can be programmed to do things like silence your phone, start recording a voice memo, or open your flashlight. I personally use mine as a Shazam button for identifying whatever music is playing at my local coffee shop with a quick tap, something that's much easier than fumbling to get the app open in time. There are near endless possibilities if you're crafty with the Shortcuts app. Folks have used this button for everything from creating calendar events and quick notes to unlocking their cars.
One thing you won't need to use your Action button for is opening your camera, thanks to a camera control, a new feature debuting on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro series simultaneously. Located on the top right of the phone in landscape mode, just like a regular camera shutter, this button touchpad hybrid lets you open your camera with a single click and immediately start snapping photos with another. You can hold the button down to capture some video, or give it a quick double tap to quickly adjust things like zoom, focus, and photographic styles without taking your finger off the shutter. My favorite thing about camera control is simply having a faster way to open the camera and capture yet another shot of my dog causing mischief before the moment is gone. Once the app is actually open, however, I find it to be more of a mixed bag. Double tapping to open your various camera settings takes some getting used to, and I've accidentally opened the settings dial when I meant to snap a photo, and vice versa, on multiple occasions. Once I got the hang of things, using my iPhone like it was a point-and-shoot felt pretty neat. But I've built up so much muscle memory doing things like pinching to zoom and tapping around to change settings that this new button came with a learning curve. I also mostly use my phone to capture silly vertical photos and videos for my Instagram stories. Those deeper into the iPhone photography game will likely get more mileage out of camera control, especially as it hopefully improves and becomes compatible with more camera apps over time. Whether I was finally adjusting zoom levels via camera control or snapping selfies on the touchscreen like a layman, I generally had a blast taking photos on the iPhone 16. Heck, I even used it to shoot the entirety of my AirPods 4 review. Apple's new flagship builds on the iPhone 15's already excellent dual camera setup to great effect, with features like macro mode and spatial photography, even if there's one thing keeping it from being my smartphone shooter of choice. The iPhone 16 truly proved its worth during my daily visits to the park, where it accurately captured the bold green grass and sunny blue skies lining my view of the East River. My excessive roll of dog photos came out bright, accurate, and packed with detail. And I loved using focus and depth control, a feature that debuted on the iPhone 15, to instantly change a regular old photo into a stunning portrait mode shot with a quick tap of the screen. A close-up shot I snapped of a deep red hibiscus plant looked so good, you'd think it came from one of those shot-on iPhone ads, even without the professional gear and post-production that likely goes into those.
Speaking of shooting things up close, the iPhone 16's improved ultra-wide lens can finally take the kinds of super detailed macro mode shots that pro users have been enjoying for years. Apple's new phone let me see every little prickle in a bed of coneflowers, whereas I could only see the frontmost flower clearly without it. It did a similarly great job of exposing every tiny detail of the lush goldenrod and knotweed plants I came across in Central Park, though I prefer my bokeh-style shots that sacrifice detail for depth. The iPhone 16's cameras were mostly fantastic in low light. When I photographed my bandmates outside after a sweaty evening rehearsal, every detail of their t-shirts and tattoos looked clear as day, and a bit brighter and sharper than what I got from last year's iPhone 15 Plus. I had a similarly good experience taking photos around a dimly lit graffiti-ridden bar, where the iPhone 16 camera revealed details that weren't super clear to the naked eye. The low-light photos I captured at various concerts were more of a mixed bag. The color and brightness was there, but there was some obvious fuzziness once I zoomed into the musicians' faces.